Hello everyone, this is Bon Jovi Talk podcast. It's been a while since I've done a podcast. It's been a while since I posted anything really. To be fair, since Forever, the album that was released in June, it's been quite quiet in Jovi land anyway, personally I think. Obviously we've had a performance by Jon in his Nashville bar. The People's House has been released. We've had news about some albums kind of being re-released and stuff like that in time for the end of the year. And apart from that, to be fair, off the top of my head, I don't think there's been much that has kind of come out for Bon Jovi. Obviously, we had the whole story about him saving the life, which was fantastic to see. But apart from that, there's not been much to talk about, and that's kind of why I've been quite quiet on the Jovi fronts. Plus, in the next 4 or 5 days is my baby's due date, so I've kind of just been getting prepared for that as well as working all hours as usual. So yeah, I thought I'd just jump on, do a little quick video. As I said, it's been a while since I've done one and just kind of speak about what we have seen. So yeah, about a month ago or so, everywhere, in every single news article, on every single radio station was the story about Jon Bon Jovi saving that woman's life, which I thought was fantastic. I know certain people were going on about it being, what's the word, like staged and stuff like that. Not one bit of me thinks it was, not one bit. I didn't like the fact that David Bergman was there kind of taking photos as it was happening. But then I suppose, in his statement, I thought it was also quite honest of him what he said, and I can see why. At the time, I was just a bit like, hold on a minute, maybe that's a bit insensitive. But kind of after this post, I can see why he's done it in some ways. But I did think the whole thing was fantastic from Jon. I thought the way he kind of slowly went up to the woman and, put his hand out and kind of introduced himself by the looks of things was really good. I know everyone has different views on it, but I personally thought it was fantastic of him, and yeah, it was nice to see nice press, especially after obviously, and I'm one of them where things are quite negative in Jovi land at the moment and stuff like that. I actually think this was a really nice moment for the band, for Jon, for fans, and obviously for the lady that he thankfully saved. That same day, obviously he was doing the People's House official music video with War and Treaty, which at the time when it first got released, I was kind of like, why have they done that? I thought the photo that they used, I loved the image of Jon's, jacket at the back, but I thought it just looked like a really bad Canva job, the single cover. But even when it got released, I was just like, it doesn't really do nothing for me. But actually, since the video, and I've watched the video probably 4 or 5 times now, I actually really like that version. I probably prefer it more than the studio version, the version that's on Forever. It's actually, I think War and Treaty actually give it a little bit of life, because I do think it just kind of, I maybe said this on the video, one of the last podcasts I've done, I feel like the song kind of doesn't go anywhere, whereas I actually think they elevate it to it at the next level. Still nothing groundbreaking, it's still not something, apart from the music video, I don't think I've really clicked it on Spotify or anything like that. It's not one of them songs, but I do think it's better. I actually think the video, in terms of the video itself, isn't great, let's be honest. Kind of a basic video. However, I do think Jon looks fantastic in it, and it's been a while since I've said that. I actually think he looks, if you compare him to the Do What You Can video, or even Limitless video, I turned it off after a few seconds, but the video come up on YouTube Shuffle the other day. I just had a few songs. I actually think I had the People's House on, and one of the next songs was Limitless, and even there where, he's had makeup done and filter or whatever, I think he looks much better, even if it is in black and white. I actually think he looks about 15 years younger than the 2020 album, promo stuff and videos and stuff like that. And then that same day as the People's House video was getting recorded, getting filmed, that night he went to the Nashville bar, his Nashville bar, and done a couple of songs. I think it was 4 or 5 songs, and surprisingly finished with This Ain't a Love Song. The performances are nothing to write home about. I wasn't, a fan or anything like that of his vocals or anything. However, it give me him trying to sing This Ain't a Love Song over 95% of the back catalogue of Bon Jovi. You're hearing the same songs every time they play shows, and to get This Ain't a Love Song, it was still a nice surprise. And even when I actually listened to it again yesterday, and it is painful. The first verse isn't too bad, but after that I think it's shocking, and then obviously he does go for it at the end. It's still not great, but it's nice to see him going for it. But yeah, I just think for me, again, it's still, I know it's probably a work in progress, but it's been 2 years since he's had vocal surgery now, and I just can't see anything changing. I think if he thought his vocals were good, we'd have had promo shows at least, like the Palladium shows, and was it Red Bank or something that they done for this house not for sale, like them type of shows. I think we'd have got again, and we haven't. We've had absolutely nothing, and I don't think we're going to get anything, unfortunately. I think maybe he'll see how he is in the next 6 to 12 months, and if things aren't better, I do think live they're going to call it a day personally, and it's probably for the best, because right now I don't think he sounds much better than he did in 2020, 2021, 2022. It's just not good, and this is 4 or 5 songs we're talking about. This isn't 18, 19, 20 songs 2, 3, 4, 5 times a week. This is 4 or 5 songs that we're getting, and I get that things need to warm up and stuff like that, but if what he's telling us with he's rehearsing every day and he's doing vocal lessons every day and practicing all the time, and he still sounds the way he does, I just can't see anything happening live, which is a shame, because you know what, I was actually speaking to a friend about this yesterday. There's a few songs on Forever which I'd love to hear live. When I got to go to that Banquet Records Prism show and John is there and you're listening to it, I want him to get up and start singing. And yeah, it's just one of them, unfortunately. Whether he does or not, well, whether they do or not, I don't know, but I just can't see it personally. I'm trying to think of anything else. I just think since Forever it's been very slow, which is a shame, because I thought after Forever that's where things would really go up. The first 6 months were brilliant. We had the documentary, we had the Ruby edition of Bon Jovi on like vinyl and stuff like that to celebrate the 40 years. We had obviously Monopoly at the start of the year, which, as I said, I know a lot of people criticised that and stuff like that, but for a collector, I was made up with that. We've had obviously Forever, the album, but apart from that, I don't think there's actually been much. And then obviously we've had the fan club, or whatever you want to call it, backstage and stuff, where that's been nice, but I think that's been also a bit of a letdown in some ways, because we're still only getting snippets. There's no big release for it. The Keep the Faith stuff is fantastic, and New Jersey and stuff like that, these are what the die-hard fans want. These are what the real fans want, and we're still getting snippets. We're not getting really a promotion of it. The website just seems to go in many different directions. You don't actually know where you're going. It's kind of, let's just try and find it. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's been, would I use the phrase let down? Potentially, yeah, but I just think there could have been a lot more to this 40 years. And I think to top it off would have been nice to have a couple of shows, and obviously that's all down to John's vocals, unfortunately. And yeah, you know what, there's not much else to talk about. As I said, I just thought I've got 10 minutes free, 10-15 minutes free. I'll do a little video, kind of just tell you where I am and what's happening with the podcast and stuff like that. I say it all the time. I had a guest, I had a pretty decent guest, in all honesty, booked in for about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and my head's just everywhere at the moment. I completely forgot about it, and that's my doing, and to be fair, I need to message that person again, and it would have been nice to kind of come back with that type of guest on the podcast, but I've just got so much on work. As I said, my baby boy's due in 4 or 5 days, which I can't wait for. And yeah, it's just been a bit of a whirlwind. This fly's doing my head in. It's just been a bit of a whirlwind. and I apologise for not being as active as usual on here, although I've been saying that now for probably the last 3 years. But I know I will get back to it. Just once I'm settled with everything, I will get back to it. And as always, if someone does want to be a guest and I've got a bit of time like this or whatever, I'll bring my laptop into work. There's no harm in doing it. And you know, I can always do a podcast with someone, but for now I am just kind of leaving it at the moment. You know, I spend enough time on Instagram and stuff like that due to work, so you know, spending another hour or so, you know, behind the screen, it just, when I've got a bit of time, isn't ideal. But I know I do love the podcast and I do love talking to other Bon Jovi fans, so if there is anyone that does want to do it and has stuff to speak about, feel free. Another really good thing that I'm enjoying though at the moment, to be fair, I'd say the past year or so, I've been going to record fairs again. This is on a personal level, so feel free to turn off. But I've been going to record fairs again, and you know, the last 2 or 3 years I've been in different houses and different flats, but now I'm kind of settled in one place, and I've done like a games room, but in the games room is my Bon Jovi merchandise, and you know, a lot of it's still in family members' houses and stuff like that because of, you know, events that took place in my personal life. But it's been nice to actually see my collection again and build on it again. I forgot how much stuff I had, and apart from if Forever or something gets released, I haven't bought any Bon Jovi stuff for a long time because I wouldn't know where to put it. I've had, you know, it would just be in a bag, or I'd have to give it to a family member to put away or whatever else, whereas now I'm kind of settled again. And it's just been nice to add to the collection. So being on record fairs, I've got a nice contact who's been messaging me with new stuff that's been coming in and things like that, and it's just been nice. It's been nice to add stuff to the collection. There's probably a load of CDs and tapes and cassettes and everything like that I know I haven't seen for a while in family members' houses, and I can't wait to see them again. And I've probably bought doubled the amount of stuff that I need to, but yeah, that's just on a personal level. It's actually been nice, especially when it's been so quiet on the Bon Jovi front, to kind of still keep the collection going and buying new stuff and adding stuff to the collection. So yeah, as I said, I thought I'd just jump on, fill yous in as to where I am in my life and with the podcast and Bon Jovi in general. And hopefully, guys, we do have something in the next, I don't know, what we've got left of the year, 7 weeks or something like that, something crazy like that. Maybe a bit longer actually, isn't it? It's probably a lie, probably about 9-10 weeks. Hopefully in the next 2 months, let's say, we get some more information on Bon Jovi, and we can still celebrate the 40 years. But at the moment, apart from Forever, there's been nothing really to write home about, and I know a lot of people weren't too keen on that anyway. So yeah, as I said before, if anyone does want to jump on, give me a message, and if we can sort a date and a time and I can do it and I can make sure I do it, I will. And with the games room now, you know, I do want to kind of set up a tiny little studio, so I'm not doing it in a room with a bike pump in the corner and half the ceiling, you know, with the tiles everywhere and stuff like that. This is just an old room that is in the gym. So yeah, hopefully I can get back to it. But yeah, those are just for these in, guys. Anyway, any questions or if any interactions and stuff like that, keep sending them on Bon Jovi Talk. I do enjoy the interactions on there, and hopefully we get something to talk about soon. See you later.